Hello and welcome back to Down the Track. We are live from the T20 World Cup in Dubai. We now have three confirmed semi-finalists: Pakistan, England, and Australia. South Africa very unlucky to miss out despite beating South England in Sharjah. They miss out on net run rate. Australia, their two big wins against West Indies and Bangladesh really helped them in this case. And yeah, Australia do qualify. They've been playing some good cricket, but so have been South Africa, and they defeated a tournament favorite in England. The way South Africa batted today, outstanding. Van der Dusen, 94 of 60 balls. He took his time, but then he started smashing it as the game went on. Markram, 52 of 25. He just came from ball one and started hitting it. It's not easy to do that, but he found the gaps, found the boundaries, timing the ball well, and these guys showed that with the bowling attack that they have, if their batsmen do contribute, that they can defeat anybody in this tournament. And they just South Africa that they've been in such a tough group with England, with Sri Lanka, with Australia, West Indies, Bangladesh. Has been a tough group, but they've played some outstanding cricket. They've only lost one game and still haven't made it to the semi-finals. So this was really the group of death, and unfortunate for them not to make it. But they'll be very proud of their performance. Even with the ball, they were getting smashed, but they continue to pick up wickets. Shamsi economy of six when everyone was going 9, 10 and over. And Rabada, last over, defending 14, he takes a hat trick. He's a world class bowler, one of the best in the world, and he's shown that against a top class batting lineup, one of the best as well. So yeah, brilliant bowling from Kagiso Rabada. And Shamsi has contributed. Maharaj contributed. Nokia as well. Nokia getting Butler again. Butler hit him for a few boundaries, but Nokia came back and picked him up, and exactly what happened in the IPL as well. A very good performance from South Africa. England won't be too worried. Obviously, I think the bowlers let them down a bit today, especially Mark Wood. He looked a bit out of shape, not fully fit. But Tyrone Mills not there. Mark Wood now has to take his place. He missed a few games due to injury as well. Chris Wokes got smashed a bit. Adil Rashid was decent. Moin Ali was pretty good, but yeah, I think Mark Wood and Chris Jordan, it wasn't their day today, and especially in the death overs, their slower balls were picked up very well by Vanderdusen and Markram, and that's something that England will have to work on in the semi-finals. In death overs, they'll have to be very accurate and can't let runs flow like that. To be honest with you. And if you look at their batting, very unlucky to have Roy retired hurt. Hopefully, they'll get him back for the semi-finals. That's a big, big blow if he misses out because along with Butler, they're giving the right starts to England, batting really well, batting very fluently actually. And without him, that would is going to be a problem. Bristow form has been a bit shady in the last few games, and Moin Ali hasn't got going. But and David Milan also consuming too many deliveries. I felt that his strike rate needs to be a bit more. When you're chasing such a big score, you have to be a bit more aggressive. But a big, big, big positive is Livingston. 20 of 17, but some of the sixes he hit was outstanding. Even Van der Dusen, he played that scoop and that reverse, but it was really good to watch Livingston. He's shown what he can do, and he's found it difficult in these conditions in the UAE, but I think now he's slowly getting the grips of it, and it's going to be a big innings for him in the semis and finals if they do make it, especially in the semi-finals. He'll have to perform, and it's good to see him in form there with the bat. But yeah, apart from that, I think England won't be too upset with the performance. It took it close. Again, their bowling needs to be a bit more disciplined. South Africa is the team feel bad for, after such a good performance, beating the tournament favorites like that by 10 runs in Sharjah, despite batting first, losing the toss. But this is cricket. This is what you play for, and sometimes it doesn't work out. Some people are saying net run rate is unfair, but you know about this before the tournament, and that's why every run is important. Winning by big margins is important, and that's exactly what Australia did, and they deserve to go through just based on that. They beat Bangladesh and Australia and West Indies by big, big margins today against the West Indies. David Warner back in form. They're chasing 150. It could have been a tricky chase, but Warner, like, he's back to his best. He's done it in the Sunrisers in the past, and today he showed for Australia as well that he can pick the boundaries, pierce that gap through the offside, hit it over the fielder's head as well when needed in the power play, make use of the power play very well. And when the field spreads out, he's rotating the strike and finding the gap. So outstanding from David Warner. That's a huge, huge positive for Australia going into the semi-finals. Like, if their openers perform like that, like, if Warner and Finch get them off to flyers, then they will test any team in the semi-finals. They'll most likely play Pakistan, so that's going to be a very good matchup. And Australia will have to be prepared. Pakistan's in amazing form. They're playing really well. They have some quick bowlers in Shaheen Afridi. Imad Wasim also ties one end up in the power play. So they'll have to be a bit careful. But I think Warner and Finch slowly getting into form, and they will be confident going into that game. With the ball again, Zampa was really good. Hazelwood was decent. I felt they bowled well, Australia, but towards the end, Andre Russell got the better of them in the death overs, and there is a slight weakness there in death bowling because their bowlers sometimes bowl that test match line and get picked up easily. I think they have to use a bit more in terms of variations and find that Yorker as well. Someone like Stark, I think he can be very effective in the death overs. He just needs to find that Yorker length and then mix it up as well. It's just not just bowling fast. But yeah, I think Australia are very happy to be in the semi-finals along with England. Two deserved teams. You can't say South Africa don't deserve it; they deserve it as well. But you know about net run rate, like I said from before, and you have to make the calculations from before and make sure you win big in every game. And that's exactly what Australia did. Outstanding performance. West Indies, it's emotional day for them. Chris Gayle and Dwayne Bravo both retiring from international cricket, from T20 cricket as well, and they've been brilliant servants of the game, both winning two T20 trophies respectively, and they've done great in this format. They've actually set the standard, and someone like England have taken upon that as well, and saying that you have to play some aggressive cricket. And West Indies have set the standard in T20 cricket. I think a huge thing about their success is they played all over the world in leagues, whether it's in Australia, in India, and West Indies itself, in Pakistan. They played everywhere, and they use that experience in the T20 World Cup. Unfortunately, this World Cup they just could not get going. The pitches were slow. Their batsmen just did not adjust to the pitch properly. Their bowlers, they missed Narayan. They didn't have a proper leg spinner. That was also an issue for them. And hopefully they can learn from this and come up as a stronger team in the next T20. But it's going to be a difficult phase for them because it's going to be a transition from Chris Gayle, from Bravo. Pollard is also getting older now. He might retire. It's going to be a new generation, and the likes of Puran and Hetmeyer will really need to step up and lead this team forward. I'm sure youngsters will come in and chip in, but they'll have to build a team around these two players. Lewis is still around, but you'll have a couple of experienced players here and there, but you need the likes of Pollard, Russell, Bravo, Gale. How are you going to replace these guys? It's going to take time. You see Sri Lanka, it's taken them 3-4 years, but now suddenly they have a talented group that they can bank on, and they're all youngsters. And now in 2-3 years, I think these youngsters will be really good and will be competing for big tournaments. And that's exactly what West Indies have to do. They have to invest in their youth and take it from there. Be a bit patient. It's okay if you lose a few tournaments. You just need to keep on going, and the talent will come, and one day they'll all click together like this West Indies team did. Before T20 came into play, West Indies were struggling in tests and one days, and even in T20s it took them a bit of time. They didn't do that well up until 2012, so it took some time. It took 5 years since the World Cup started for West Indies to win a World Cup, but I think now they'll have to go again, find that youth, find that talent, and take it from there. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up. Congratulations to England and Australia for making it to the semis along with Pakistan. Congratulations to them. They've been the three top teams in this tournament. I think the England group was way tougher. So the likes of South Africa and Sri Lanka, they will be disappointed, but should be proud of the way they played. If they were maybe in another group, it could have been a different situation. And it was a tough group. So England and Australia also should be proud. They came out of this, and they're in the semi-finals. And I think England will probably play New Zealand unless they get upset against Afghanistan. I think England will probably play New Zealand, Australia play Pakistan. But nothing is confirmed up until tomorrow or day after. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Up until then, thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for the latest content. Thank you.